Hey everybody! Alright, another stream. Unreal, CG Spectrum, Realtime. Have some stuff I gotta do that I want to do today. That it took me a bit to get started on the stream here, because I was desperately trying to figure out how to get plan. I do have a whole bunch of stuff I want to do, but it's hard to figure out what exactly my plan is. We got Dave here and we got Riz here. Welcome, guys. Riz, I managed to see your animation finally, so it was a fun thing to watch. It was a long video, but it had some pretty good moments there. I actually really enjoyed the beginning of it, to be quite fair. I thought there was a really neat feeling about it with the music and everything, and it was like a bit of a music video thing going on, where I was just watching it, not really feeling like I need to rush. But today what we're gonna do is we've got 3 things that I have on my list, and I was trying to find some other stuff, but I'm struggling with like trying to make sure my technical aspects all function as well. So, oh, that queued up nicely with music. So we've got this interesting sample that I want to take a look at. Maybe I'll do it a little bit later. I'm not sure where I should place that in, but I just finished downloading it, and it's basically a whole bunch of light demonstrations. And the reason why I'm finding this interesting right now, even though I really don't know anything about what DMX previous sample means, was we were having a nice chat with a new virtual production mentor from Pixelmundo, and he's a lighting artist. So his main focus is doing lighting on set at Pixelmundo in Toronto. And so he's talking with Deepak, our other virtual production guy, and they're discussing what kind of content we can apply to our course. But it's all very foreign to me, and I'm really interested to find out more about it. So this is a pretty cool project that might be kind of fun to play with, or I'll find out there's some major hardware problems that I'm gonna get stopped by. So that's the one thing. The other thing is I finally got my bridge software working. I don't know if I guess I never followed up with this, but there's many weeks I was like complaining about how my bridge software is broken. Couldn't get the I couldn't view the settings, the export settings, and so finally it worked. They actually sent me back a message. They told me what it was, and it was because I had a legacy license file in my settings, and even though my license file had been running fine for like years after I put it in, all of a sudden one update it just broke everything. And I didn't put it together. I didn't realize that was the file that the problem that was going to be. So he noticed in one of my screenshots, he's like, "You got a license file in there. You probably should get rid of that." So I got rid of it, and it all worked magic. So I feel kind of a bit foolish, but whatever. You can't think of them all. And so what I'm doing now is I'm downloading the MetaHuman, making sure that I have the source assets. So in the download settings, making sure that under models I have UAsset and source asset. I'm downloading that with the whole full piece to it, and we're going to see if we can export it to Maya using the Maya plugin from the download settings, and from the export settings, and which says it's installed, although I haven't had much luck with it lately, so this might actually end up being a real fail. So we're going to find out real soon. Riz says, "My animation took 3 years to make." That is a very long time, but to be fair, it is 6-minute animation, so 6 minutes in animation world is a very long time, and needs to be respected when you watch an animated film that it takes a lot longer than it looks to make these things. That's why they have like 60 animators for a 90-minute film. Okay, so I'm gonna do export, and we're gonna see if this is gonna work or not. Oh, it's working, because that never usually waited that long. So we're exporting a MetaHuman over to Maya, and the reason why I'm excited about this is because I wanted to use one of the plugins, the one from either Advanced Skeleton or from MGear, but I haven't got MGear installed. Well, maybe I have an MGear installed. Both of them are supposed to be able to give you a control rig for MetaHuman. I haven't been able to try it out yet. I don't even know where the videos are, to be honest, so that might be a bit of a slow process. Hey, Lydia's here, welcome. Glad you managed to make the stream. at your hour. So that's two things. And then the third, oh wait, what's this about? I gotta make sure that this keeps processing in the background here. And then the third thing is I was told by Troy that there is a Maya animation tools that became released for free, that someone he knows and works with or has worked with in the past and has set up. It's for skinning, joint skinning, and so I wanted to try this out. So I don't know how it's going to go. I haven't tried it yet. This is kind of how these streams tend to go. And hey, John of 3D, welcome. How's it going, guys? This is great. We got a nice crowd here. So I'm gonna try this out and see what happens. See if I get stuck or not, and also find out how good it is. Because having a skinning tool in Maya, like an improvement, especially if it's free, this sounds pretty good. But now I have to remember how to use Git to actually download it, which was something that I just forgot how to do. Oh, there it is. Download zip. Let's try it out. It's only 2 a.m. All is fine. Yeah, as soon as I saw you said hello, I'm like, oh, it's probably like really late over there right now. As it can be in Europe. Oh no, 3D says good. And then the fun thing is to check out that light show for sure. So I'm gonna see where I can get stuck initially here, and then we'll see what we can do after that. So we've got this. I'm gonna take I don't think I need these. Extract here. Alright, so we got Python files, good. So these are the Python scripts. Actually, there's not much. Well, that's a lot of kilobytes for a script file. I think I just want, oh, there's images. Okay, I'm gonna need the whole, oh no, this is just interface images. Let's see. Export path. What else we got? On the Skinner test suite. So what? Are we exporting and importing skinning? Is that what we're trying to do here? That would be kind of interesting. Somehow it's managing to maintain the connection. Oh, there's a documentation button. That looks handy. Because I didn't expect that to be, I mean, there might be other tools that it can do. I don't know. Alright, so I've got my 2020 open as well, but I didn't really, it wasn't really my plan. I guess I should maybe use 2020. Oh no, here's our MetaHuman. Ready to roll. I'm just going to put this over into the documents folder, which is where you put Maya scripts. Not downloads, documents. So Maya, I'm going to put it into the main. Now I'm going to put it in 2020 scripts. Let's open another program. That must be my picture program. Close that. Try it again. I don't know if this is going to work. I need to initialize it somehow. I wonder if Skinner is actually what I want. I just want to bring this whole thing in the raw form in there. Images is not necessarily important. But I still, that initialize Python file, I'm gonna get caught, I'm pretty sure. they have any documentation I could read before I got in there? Read me. Design for, oh, here we go. I can actually define what it is. The tool, Autodesk Maya, designed to make exporting, importing skin weights, polygon mesh, easy, fast, full featured. Skin weights on polygon mesh, easy, fast, fully featured, having both consumer-facing UI and scriptable API. Can be fully integrated in professional production pipelines, regardless of industry. At a high level, the Skinner tool works by exporting and importing skin chunk data. Discussed below. I don't know, that sounds kind of cool. Purchasing the source for your production. Ah, so they charge for the source. Just its own independent thing. Okay, well, I'm not going to get too boring into here. But looks like I got some help documentation I can rely on. My 2022 makes it easy to install new Python packages via pipe. Really? Did not know that. Maya py pipe install flags from command window running as administrator. Whoa, I've never installed a Maya plugin this way before. That's pretty cool. It must be that Python 3 integration they have. So you got to install these packages specifically to execute this version of pipe. Or an optionally. Oh man, this is going to get tricky, isn't it? Like, this is not going to be easy. I have to install all these different packages to support what I need for this. Oh boy, that looks crazy. Okay, let's put that aside. We'll come back to that one in a bit when we run out of stuff to talk about. Let's work on our second problem. Actually, let's just see if we can jump right into the fun one right now before I lose everybody. We got my 2022 here. So this is also a very, I don't know what I'm going to get out of this, but I created a project for this, and we're going to see what happens when I open it, because I've just never actually taken a look at it before. And this is in the Learn section that you can grab this from. DMX previous example. I really have no idea what I'm getting myself into here. I actually was looking for, I thought they had like a sports arena template as well, like a sports television set backdrop. That's what I came for. I don't know if that still exists somewhere in the marketplace or something. Just gotta get myself oriented here to the assets library. We're looking for the DMX sample. We're going to load it up, see what happens. And then the third thing was the MetaHuman, and we're going to see what we can explore with that for just trying to see if we can build a control rig for it using Advanced Skeleton or MGear, and see what that control rig feels like and how well it works. And one challenge that a lot of students have had so far is just being able to put motion capture onto MetaHuman, and it's difficult to sort of, like, especially when you're learning, this is like a really terrible way to start, because it's like, this is really hard to do. Like, yeah, it is really hard to do because MetaHuman is very complicated. So we're looking for maybe a method that we can make it easier for them to transition, and maybe even, especially with like Advanced Skeleton, there is a way to put motion capture, retarget motion capture onto that character skeleton, so, or onto that control rig. I don't know. I don't really know if there's a good solution there or not, but... And I bet you there's a much better solution inside of Unreal, like using backwards solving of their control rig from motion capture. That's probably the except for in order to backwards solve, you still have to have the skeleton play the animation, so I'm not sure if that would actually work. But we'll find out. So here we go, 95%. We just got to the point where we actually have the level loaded up here. Let's see what we got. Wow, look at this. It's got like audience members in the actual scene here. Whoa, there's tons of them. There's even these dark ones in the back here. Kind of creepy. Okay. Well, it's running pretty smooth. So one of the conversations that we had, which was kind of cool that we're taking a look at this now, is just the fact that when you're working on a set, you have to follow real world. Oh, Dave's got to go. Later, Dave. Is you have to follow real world physics, and that's one of the key things. Is in CG, it's very easy for you to kind of drive into a world of fantasy with, you know, unrealistic brightness of lights and unrealistic everything, and it's difficult to catch that in terms of as a final rendered image, whether something's impossible or not. But it does also lead to potentially that uncanny valley of something doesn't quite feel right, but you can't quite figure out why. And Tamir, who's the new mentor, he was referencing the fact that on Pixar, they ensure that all their rigs all follow real world physics. Oh, there's floating rocks. So that the physics, or sorry, the physics or the lights and everything that they use is all following real world. Oh, the camera setups and stuff all follows real world movements and real world limitations. So it helps you never get into that fantasy of things being possible. Are these just baked out physics, or is it looks like it's a Niagara actor. I think it's actually running in real time. Not that I know what I'm doing in Niagara, but I was kind of hoping I could see a preview of how they're doing that. Are they taking a 3D mesh and telling it to move? Simulation position. Initialize particle. Yeah, looks like you can do that. I don't see any in the preview, so I don't know how to do that. Still really dumb when it comes to Niagara. Which isn't surprising at all. Anyways, let's see if we can do some lights. So I just have to... Oh, what's this? DMX. Receive DMX. Send DMX. Okay. So this is going to look really dumb, but I don't know what DMX means. So let's do a Google search for DMX lighting. DMX stage lighting at Amazon. Is this DMX digital multiplex is a protocol used to control devices such as lights or fog machines. The signal is unidirectional, meaning it only travels in one direction from the controller or the first light all the way to the last. Okay. In the most basic form, DMX is just a protocol for lights, like how MIDI is for keyboards or DAW is for controllers. Understand DMX insists that you need to know about both lighting modes, DMX channels, and DMX controllers. Hassan? Very complex software. Yeah, DMX equals complicated. So, and just the fact that they're talking like MIDI and stuff, I mean, I can definitely see how if you had a DMX setup wired into your computer, then you'd be able to, I would assume it's a it's a received DMX, so I'm not sure how that would work. Whether you'd be like, the real world lights are now controlling these lights, or these lights, I don't know. Anyways, what I wanted to do was hit play. Oh yeah, we have a sequencer. Ooh, it's got music and everything. Oh, but I'm not gonna get you music because I'm too busy doing this. Ooh. Wow. It went way longer than I thought it would. That's crazy. I really did not anticipate that to be like a full-fledged, really long cinematic. It was fun though. And amazing, to say the least. Totally impressed. There was some really cool, all sorts of cool stuff going on there. Even just these like lights here. I'm like, what? What's happening there? How are you doing that? I still don't know how they were doing that. It's just a static mesh here. So what was producing the light? The material type? And we're gonna have to take a look at that sequencer file because I don't even know what was going on. Yeah, there's no material on this, so that's crazier than it was before. But maybe they've applied it specific or something? I don't know. Yeah, there's a special material assigned. Clock LED. Ah. That's supposed to emulate like an LED emissive power 30. Oh, yeah. That's interesting. Output level. Like a multiplier? Okay. Well, let's go take a look at the sequencer file then. I'm still compiling shaders, so I don't even think we even got to see it with the fully finished shader compiling. I gotta admit though, like how long does it take to make something like that? Like all that lighting setup? Yeah, there's a whole world there I don't know anything about. Okay, that was not a sequence file. Oh, here we go. DMX previous animations. Alright, what are we getting into here? We got lots of shots. Ooh, what's this? Animated shots. Kind of an interesting layout. They're just all the cameras are together here. Chris! Hey Simon, listening in while I do renders. From what I understand from this DMX example, is they used it for previs, for actual DMX lighting controls for live concerts and shows, etc. You can output the data from Unreal to an actual lighting system or vice versa input into Unreal. Yeah, that is very cool. And then you'd have to have somebody who is matching the environment, or virtually matching the environment to the real world environment, to like a T of what the scale is. So I think this is where the virtual production worlds collide. You get people who are like, I'm an asset creator in Unreal, and then your job is to recreate the whole scene to scale in real life, or from real life, so that you're getting one-to-one representation. And I guess that's where you get like LiDAR scans and stuff you could probably do to give yourself reference points. Not that I know anything about this stuff. Riz says, I ran into problems when I was creating my animation. Was it similar to this problem? Chris, yeah, not sure how they do that. Pretty cool though. Yeah, I totally agree. It is pretty awesome. Hassan, hey Simon, what graphics card are you using? I'm using a 20. Let me show you so I don't screw it up. 2080 Ti RTX. I was actually gonna, for some reason, say 2090, but I don't know where I'm getting that from. So yeah, it's a slightly older card, I guess, but it works good for what I need it, and I have not had any problems. In fact, I haven't had any excuse as to why I'd want to upgrade. So where I'm at with this one, I'm like, it's good. It's never been a bottleneck, and it's got the RTX. So I think that's the real bridging point. Is you got to make sure that you actually, if you want to use ray tracing well, you want to be able to see that anyways, then you got to hit that RTX. Although if you use the lumens and the nanite and stuff, none of that uses RTX hardware. So it's really just for that ray tracing. And now there's another one coming down the road too, which isn't also using RTX. Okay, so here's our sequence. Let's try and scrub through it. Jump over to our camera. Oh, look at this when I do that. Whoa, look at those banners come down. Didn't even remember that part. Maybe the materials weren't compiled at that point. Oh man, I gotta see how they're doing that. What do they got here? Drapes? What does that mean? This is a static mesh without an actual mesh. Baked. Oh, a limbic cache. Ah. Alright, so that's probably like a fabric created maybe in like Marvelous Designer, or somebody who's somehow they're making some sort of fabric simulation. Exported all as a cache, which they're not even showing me the poly count here. Oh, have to look at it from the other side. Two-sided material, I guess. I don't know much about limbic cache. That's another area that we could spend time learning more about, is that process of how you get materials and stuff working on cache files. Yeah. Just play it backwards. JD Smith! Simon Warwick in the house, ladies and gents. This looks massive. Yeah. Trust me, I am also going, whoa, this looks massive. This is a asset from the Learn materials at from the marketplace. Well, not the marketplace, it's Learn materials. So Learn under DMX previs example. I've always been like, hey, I should check that out one day. And then today I'm like, I'm gonna check this out. Because we just had a conversation with some VP virtual production guy who's a lighter. And hey, this is the virtual studio I was looking for. Yeah, I think so. I thought it was a sports thing. This is another thing I wanted to get. Maybe I'll download this. Anyway, so some of the thoughts we had was like, we should maybe have a virtual set that we're working from in our course so that we're actually getting more physical with like a set environment. And that was their ideas, and I was like, oh, that sounds cool. So then I'm like, we should check out, see what the Unreal has these things, and then so this is where I'm kind of going with this one. And I was fully blown away by the actual light show. It's crazy. J. Smith says, I was hoping it was the new UFC fight stage. Man, it's pretty close. Literally could get to that point. Just change the setup a little bit more. There is some creepy dudes out here. All these creepy people hanging out in the darkness. It's like, it's a mandatory thing. Everyone has to wear black bodysuits that cover your face in order for this to be accurate. Now those guys get a pretty good view. Let's take a look. Oh, we got DataSmith in here. I don't even know what that is. Import DataSmith. Let's do a little search. Black mannequins matter. That's right. You gotta be equal. Make sure everybody's recognized. I was like just trying to do search for DataSmith. Oh, is DataSmith like a USD format thing? I swear I've learned about this already and now I've forgotten immediately why it's useful. So I guess it's combining a bunch of stuff together. I don't really quite understand what where the evidence of what it was used for is. Like when we were using Omniverse the other week, it was definitely leaving a trail of assets that were distinctly different than everything else. Let's go back to the sequencer. Oh, the lights kicked in this time. Oh, they're specifically the lights that are on these textures. That kind of works out good because I really wanted to find out how they did that. Shot 3, media, beauty. These are all camera, media. Media. Ooh, what is this? Oh, yeah, yeah. Maybe they have like a world positioned texture. So, there's the clouds. That was how the limbic cache was being textured, I guess. It's a nice texture, by the way. Kind of a cool thing to have on a library of cool things to have. This one definitely seems like it was generated specifically for the positioning of where those lights were. Yeah, nice clouds. That's right. Just hold on to that asset. I'm not sure if it resides in the ugh, I forget how to do this. Oh, there it is. Image K. Yeah, so it's right inside the folder. What kind of file is it? Oh, we don't know. Just... Oh, image sequence. Wow, maybe they are an image sequence. I don't know. Didn't know they could do that. Okay, so that's kind of making sense. I guess that we're putting the media somehow on the ground and it's matching to where those lights are. I don't really quite understand that part. So this is a camera. Here's our full-on soundtrack, which was pretty wild. And events track. It was a bit of an event right in the very beginning. Let's see what that does. Start the FPS chart. Execute console command. Start FPS chart. Wonder what an FPS chart is. I feel like if I write this in, the only problem is my cinematic is going to kick off if I try to play it, so... Turn that off. Oh, I have my whole mouse taken over for some reason. After that, use stop FPS chart. Alright, that's it. The magic has happened. I don't know what that means. Does it have a search result? Starts the FPS chart capture data, chart data capture. If another is already active, then this command is ignored except to change the active bold label. It's probably why it told me to run the stop afterwards. But I assume if I stop the project, it would be fine. Recording per frame times. Maybe that's for like time code or something. Should we record per frame times, potentially unbound memory growth, used when triggered via a console but not when triggered by game code? Okay. Weird. Don't quite understand it, but it's probably got some use in the actual field. And then obviously the other one probably is going to say stop FPS chart. And that's probably the one on the end of the event ID. Okay. So I still don't quite understand how the textures work. Somehow this media is applying to something. I don't quite get that. It's like media source, media texture, start frame, media component, timecode source. So they really are putting in timecode for sure. Which makes sense. It's one of those things, like we did timecode when I was working on facial motion capture, and it was really useful to have that timecode synced for all your videos and your capturing data and everything, so that you can come back and say, okay, this is exactly the same time as that. But like in terms of a production set like this, I just don't even know the nuances of how important that is and where it comes into play most of the time. It's pretty fascinating though. Definitely would love to sort of learn more about it. We got these little spotlights here. Got lots of them. Oh, they're all blueprints. Let's see if we can take a look at that. Nothing? This is a child blueprint? Whoa, there's a lot going on in here. Alright, let's see if we can find a parent. We got dynamic material beam, scalar parameter values, DMX dimmer, spotlight, get light color. Yeah, I'm still missing a huge chunk of how this works because all I'm seeing is cameras. In that sequencer, it was just cameras. Sorry, there's no like actual animation data for lights or positioning, like however all that was working, unless that's part of what the whole DMX, receive DMX is all about, maybe. And there's like a pre-scripted, pre-recorded data file that is inputting what it's doing into the into Unreal at the point where it, maybe that's what the whole FPS stream or the stream thing was where it started bringing in that metadata that was somehow telling these lights to do stuff. Like wow, there's just so much stuff I don't know yet. Got light color. Set visibility. So you just like, what are we controlling here? Ah, material beam. Can we see this material beam? It's all static mesh. Seems pretty... Oh wait, is there something there? Just get scaled up, be the size it needs to be or something? Whoa, what is that? Oh, I was just in a function. I didn't even look at the event graph yet. Alright, let's see what the event graph says. Begin play, initialize fixture, static mesh, lens, and beam. Initialize them. That's a C++ thing. Target is DMX fixture actor. These are just static meshes. That's the ones I was just looking at. I have no idea what's happening there. Somehow we're initializing the fixture and they are objects. This seems like we've got some under the hood stuff going on if I didn't know any better. Dynamic occlusion cast only when head is moving. Dynamic occlusion, is that fancy... occlusion culling. It gives you the sense of 3D, even though it's 2D. It's like normal maps gone on steroids. If I remember correctly. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I'm just gonna find out. The heck? I actually don't know if this is gonna be anything what I thought it was. What? That's what I thought it was. I don't know what he's doing here. Okay, well, I'm totally more confused than I was when I first started searching. Very expensive. Anyway, it's not even what I'm looking for, because technically what I searched for was something else. Dynamic occlusion. I don't know. Maybe that's the same thing. They just used a variable name that's a little different. Anyways, the timer 0.1.3. Check occlusion on that timer event. Head is moving, true or false. Again, oh no, that is actually an internal function. Head get world transform, previous head transform, nearly equal transforms. Are they almost the same? The tolerance of 0.0001. And if it's true, they are moving, then we return. If they're false, not moving, then we wait. Nearly equal, true or false. Oh yeah, so if they're nearly equal false, that means they're not the same, so it means it is moving, which means we want to set the previous head position. And so that makes it so that there's less calculating going on. And moving is the output variable. So we do a branch if true. Cast occlusion ray. Oh, here we got to see it, what it is. Cast occlusion ray does line trace by channel, occlusion direction, get world location, get forward vector, light distance max. Light distance max, wonder what that would be. 1,000 units. So it traces a line 1,000 units away, or something of that sort. And what it hits, it just stops based on what it hit. Oh, there's a true or false. So if it did hit something, and we set the scalar parameter value to the distance that it hit, light distance max. I guess that prevents it from like going through objects and hitting behind them, which is just like a bit of logic that simulates the reality. And if there isn't anything hit, then it just goes to its maximum value, I guess. Dynamic material beam. Set scalar parameter value of DMX beam visibility ratio of 1 or a ratio of... What the heck? You could be giving it a minimum of 1. Oh, the lowest value between whatever it is and 1. So it will never go above, I guess. And you take that distance and you multiply it by... Or you're adding 25. It must be 25 centimeters in front of whatever it started from or something. I don't know. Light distance max divided by... oh my goodness. It makes sense. Anyways. So, there you go. For some reason we're changing the visibility ratio. What else is going on? Head is moving, true or false, branch, cast, occlusion ray. I really want to know what this is. Set scalar parameter value of a object from the dynamic material beam. What is the dynamic material beam? Holy cow, look at all these components. Tilt, Color wheel. These are all like different things you can do. Are they all just available? I'll do component. TMX. Am I getting all these options because there's a TMX plugin that's turned on? TMX engine is turned on. TMX fixtures. TMX pixel mapping. TMX protocol. Remote control protocol. Oh, it's not even on. Huh. Some of these are in beta. Cluster display cluster allows integration between DMX and display cluster. What's a display cluster? I'm interested because it might be cool. Is this like an LED wall, or is it like a bunch of monitors together? It looks like it's dashboards. That's not what I thought it was gonna be. Oh, I'll never know. Maybe I will know one day. We won't know today though, I think. Alright, so DMX is inherited, pan, tilt. These are all just kind of components that have functionality that allows you to do the cool stuff that's related. I guess it's matching probably the motor controls of the actual light source, I would assume. So you can get a 1-to-1 ratio. It would be fun to have like a light to test with though, wouldn't it be? Just to be like, I'm gonna see what happens here. And then I start plugging around and it's like, oh look, it's working. I'm sure they're cheap. They got like what, like 100 of them in the set? Can't be that expensive. Alright. I never did actually figure out what I was looking for. I wanted to find that material, but yeah, I guess the problem was I went back. Hold on, let me just go check out a clip book. Static mesh yoke. It was a scalar parameter dynamic material beam. That's what I'm looking for, but I don't see it in here, so I don't know where this is coming from. There is no dynamic material beam object. No. What is that? Is that a variable that we created? Let's go find it. Find references. I'm getting it. We're not setting it though. I don't know. Oh, maybe they created it earlier, offline. What else we got here? Dynamic variable. Now, local variables, no local variables. How the heck does this thing exist? I don't know. Oh, it's parent class of DMX fixture actor, so maybe that was where it's coming from. Which is a C++ asset that I've just opened up Visual Studio now for no apparent reason. So let me pull back. Oh, Chris says, just curious, is it possible to open up that DMX inherited component? That's funny. Guess I kind of did that for you. Well, I guess maybe not. I don't know. Or check what the parent class is. I assume it's C++. Yeah, I totally just did that. I didn't even mean to. So that's probably where I'm hoping that's where that's coming from, or I'm totally on the wrong track. Anyways, trying to break into how the heck these things work, but it seems like there's a lot of logic there. I still don't know what drives it and how it manages to animate and move. Let's go back to the sequencer for a sec and see if this actually does move during the timeline here. No, it's just for cinematic cameras and for whatever reason these lights as well. Oh, I guess that's because of the video. And we have this super cool Niagara effects going on as well, which I'm pretty sure is not going to be reproducible in real life. But hey, Maybe. If you turn it into a big LED wall. These guys must be driven by that. Like that no, it's just a single mesh. I don't know. I feel like they're just waiting for that video to play, and then when it plays, it just starts to activate on top of here somehow through some kind of fancy material connection or something, but it does say animated. Global parameter, output level, index. Yeah, I just don't know how they're doing it, but somehow they might be connecting it to that video, so whenever the video plays. Mimo, greetings from Copiapo, Chile. Copiapo? Love your videos. Wow, thanks. I use these streams as opportunities for me to learn. It's actually really nice because it's like I need an excuse to sit down and just sit there and start learning. And so these are great. It's just like I just gotta line some stuff up. What do I want to learn? All right, let's dig deep, figure out what we can get. Sometimes it ends up with pretty exciting little results too. You find out all these little gems you didn't expect. But yeah, now I'm sort of running low on terms of what the heck I can do here, because it seems like even though we've got all kinds of awesome lights that probably work, I just don't know how they're getting driven. And it only drives when I play low. And there's nothing else going on. It's not like there's a fancy level blueprint. Oh, sorry. I thought I checked this already. This is excellent. Let's go see what we got here. Escape, exits, F9, console log command. Oh, okay. That's good to know. Maybe I'll try that. Spacebar, flip flop. Oh man, I can spacebar. EMX previs animations. Pause and play. Oh, I can pause it. That's interesting. I wonder if I pause it, does it also pause the light show? It means the DMX is somehow timecode connected to that sequencer. Don't know how. Oh, maybe it's this. I never saw this before. Where is this? VFX? Oh my goodness! I didn't see the VFX folder. Static mesh LED clock. That's the light that is connected to these giant bars here. That's the material. Static mesh component. We got output level. What are these things? Keys. What's happening with our keys? They're just on off. That period of time. Oh, maybe if they're always on, they're always playing that piece. Yeah, they're playing it, but they're not, it's not playing the video anymore. Alright. So output level goes to 1 to 0 for that material slot. Oh yeah, output level was in that material actually. It was one of the, it was like a multiplier. And so it just goes from 0 to 1. Alright. Transform, blueprint sphere. What? Blueprint sphere. This thing? Oh, it's the big sphere in the middle that's doing this crazy, like, displacement graphic thing. We should take a look at that too. How do I get to... What's this object? Oh, it's got DMX in it. Huh. We got emissive, metal, power, rough, target, multi-tessellation, height. But we can't actually see it. Emissive factor is like mega strong right now. It's like something's disabling it from actually showing up on anything. They don't actually give me the something. Maybe it's the input. It is using a parent material. Normal from height map. Yeah, why is it coming in so black? Color NPC DMX sphere. Color 2, so it's definitely pulling something from a DMX thing, I guess. Tessellation strength, so that's what's going to make it pop out based on, I guess, these colors. Whoa, okay, that really popped it out. Let's tone that down a bit. Well, that is kind of cool. What is this? This is a sphere collection? Is this an asset? What kind of asset is it? Ooh, look, it's actually moving now. Material parameter collection. Not familiar with material parameter collections. I assume it's part of the materials. There it is. Asset class that contains a list of parameter names and their default values. Any number of materials can reference these parameters and get new values when parameter values are changed. Okay, so it's like a universal source of data you can pull from and change, and everybody's coordinated off the same information, I guess. Don't know why we need it in this context, but maybe it's, I mean, it is for the DMX, so maybe the DMX is changing the data and it's just reading it based on what the DMX has. That actually makes sense. So somehow the DMX somewhere magically is coming in here and saying, change it, change it, change it. I don't know, I'm guessing. I didn't know there was a panner though. It's interesting that the textures are all slightly shifting. Roughness, multiply, normal from height map. Texture, oh, there's your panner. So it's moving. I wonder if this is moving. I mean, we got X, Y, and X and Y, so I guess in theory... Oh, there we go. We can see it moving now. So X is at 0.5, Y is at 1, but if we change it... Oh. Well, that's actually stretching it. I was actually hoping for... Yeah, no, it just doesn't move as fast. Let's see what this looks like with wireframe on. No? I thought tessellation added more polygon. Maybe that just doesn't show up in the wireframe mode? I don't know. Not that I know that much about it. Anyway, that was kind of good. We almost managed to figure out what was going on there. Let's see what else is in the level blueprint. So we can hit spacebar, we can hit T to flip-flop between set set disable camera cuts. Oh, okay, so you hit T and you can actually probably free float around. Possess the get game controller, and then you... Wait, they both do the same thing. Oh, but it'll give you a true or false. In disable camera cuts. Branch. If it's true, it possesses it. If it's false, somehow it doesn't possess it. Set disable camera cuts. I guess it just... Oh, okay. And that's our target as a sequence player. I didn't know you could do this. But that makes sense. So when you have a sequence, you have these camera cuts track, and as soon as you put a camera cuts track, it overrides the game player camera. So it'll take over. And if you don't have a camera cuts track, it'll just play from the game player's... Like if you get rid of this shot, it'll just use whatever the game player's camera was. But apparently this node will allow you to just enable and disable that because it's camera cuts, which makes sense because this is your camera cuts track. So you could decide to say, hey, I don't really want you to use cinematic camera anymore, and so it'll override it, and if not, then we'll possess the players, I guess. That's pretty much the whole thing there. So V, it's your audience cam ID. Wow, there's audience. Look at all these audience cameras. So you just keep toggling through V, and then is it adding? Oh yeah, plus plus. It'll increment it up one by one. So what does it do here? It goes set disable camera cuts. That's that again. This time for sure it turns it off. And then we possess the player control, apparently. And then we set the view with a blend. Ah, this is a target with blend, so it'll blend the camera all the way over to wherever this audience camera is. We're gonna go over a period of 0 time. Okay, so it's gonna be really fast. That's weird. And then we just increment it by 1. So I wonder if like you can still free float after you've been told to go to this position. It's kind of fun though, I get the idea. So you can be like, I'm gonna watch it from an audience perspective and see what it looks like. And then after you go up and up and up, once you get to 7, it goes back to 0 again. That's what these modulos do. And then so you'd go to 7 and then it goes back. It'll just return the number as 0, even though the number might be 8. I don't think it's anything else. So it goes 7 and then the number will say 8, but this will turn, instead of 8, it'll return 0 and go up from a level of 7. Anyways, R pressed does set playback position. Okay, so we're actually going to modify the position of the cinematic here. Make movie scene sequence playback parameters. So it puts it back to the original 0 point, I guess. You hit R and it rewinds it back to the start of the cinematic. And then it plays it. And then we have a restart debug string. Not applicable for event begin play because we have to, well, except for I've disabled it. So I almost, well, whatever. We'll re-enable it again. Sequence. So they put the level sequence inside of the level so that you have these options to be able to play with, which one of them is autoplay. And so it will now play when I hit play button. This is probably going to be a little screwed up because I messed with it. And then what is this? To be deleted. 0 executes a command. Change the resolution of your image, I guess. Alright, so what was it again? It was R for reset, V for changing your viewer, T for disable. Oh, that lets you fly around manually. And spacebar, what does spacebar do again? Oh, it pauses it. That's good. And F9 toggles the frames per second counter. And then escape exits, which is intuitive because that's what you would do anyways. Alright, let's try it out. Oh, let's get our music ready because this is kind of fun with the music. Alright. Oh, I should have probably closed sequencer before I did that. Alright, I'm gonna hit C. Alright, lets me fly around. T goes back in. Different viewer. I can't move around. But I can. Very loud. Ooh, they got little flashes. Take a look at that. Alright, so spacebar pauses. Oh yeah, and T, I can fly around. Oh, that's pretty handy, because then you're like, I need to see what's going on here. It's mandatory to watch the Sphere pop star. He's there like, he's the star of the show right here. Oh wait, where is he? Oh, he's floating around now. Oh man, that is crazy with the... He is quite the pop star. It does. It looks awesome. Totally is impressive. Especially when they start, like some of the lighting show is just like, whoa, why are you doing that? Yeah, these ones. It's like, whoa. It's really cool. Especially since you can fly around and take a look. It's like, whoa, I can actually just go like see what's going on up here. Just usually you can't see it from down on the audience view. So these must be those crazy light beam sphere things that we were trying to figure out. They do seem to be, oh, it looks like it's maybe volumetric fog. And then they've got those line tracers so that, oh, failing. Although it did say plus 25, so hey, look, this random person got hit in the spotlight. Like, why? Why am I spotted? I was actually kind of curious to see how they did all those like little flashes of lights above everybody. But it doesn't seem to be happening anymore, so. Got one light back here. Oh, the house lights are on. Alright, what was the restart button? R? There we go. Oh, look, a little debug there. Ooh, that is cool. Apparently there's all these particle effects emitters everywhere. It was a lot of fun. Alex says, hey Simon! Howdy, howdy. Josh says, I don't even know what I'm watching. It looks insane. Yeah, this is fun. What's up, Alex Does Stuff? I don't know if this is an Alex I know or not. Yeah, I actually, I'm totally having too much fun doing this. It's just kind of cool to see the whole scene kind of light up. What I'm really appreciating is just how freaking complicated this is, even from like an Unreal perspective. But then from like the logistics of just setting all this up, I don't even understand any of it. Like, yeah, how do you set this up so that it stays and it has lights and the wires are connected to a control system that allows you to control how that light works, just so you can get that little bit of a light show. It's like, oh my goodness, it's just such an overwhelming amount of amazement that you don't really appreciate until you just like, oh, this is a nice show. It's fun. Looks like they have two different types of lights placed fairly evenly, and they do move, so somehow, even though I don't understand how it works. Ah, Alex. Hey, man. How's it going? It has been a while. Ah, it's nice that you made the stream. We're just having some virtual production fun over here. Except for I'm not really a virtual production expert by any means. I'm just sort of like a, whoa, how does this work? This is amazing. And unfortunately, the other thing I have to do is really boring. So it's not like it's going to be super exciting. You didn't know I did streams. I guess in theory, I'm getting pretty close to, oh my goodness. Have I been doing this for almost, no way. Has it been almost 2 years? Wow. Yeah. Crazy. It started off as just like, hey, let's do some streams and see how it goes. And now it's like everybody was doing streams and now nobody's doing streams. I'm just the only one doing it. Well, me and Daniel are doing streams. But I actually kind of like doing them because, like I said earlier, it's just a chance to learn. Gives me an excuse to come in here and go, let's see if I can spend a couple hours trying to figure something I've never had time to figure out before. And what I'm looking at now is just a free asset that you can get off of the Learn like the market, what's it called? Epic launcher? That's what it was. And you can get the free sample here. And there's another one that I might be looking at maybe next week, the Virtual Studio, just to see how that works and looks as well. See what they've done there. Trying to get my head around how a lot of these on-set scenes work. Oh, I know what I can talk about. So there's a really interesting article that was brought to my attention that happened in England about virtual production. And it has this crazy graph chart on it. And I should talk about it today because it's still pretty fun and exciting for me to see. And it also works great in terms of the context of what we're doing right now, since it's very much virtual production work here. Let me go find it. I have to go to actually locate where it is here. All right. So it's a from Story Futures Academy Virtual Production Skills Report. They had a video that that you can watch through, which is people from England who are talking about what they've learned and stuff that they're working on trying to get virtual production working. It's you know, it's interesting but also pretty dry, and it's really definitely centric to UK's interests of trying to capture the virtual production marketplace, you know, and utilize it as one of their major. It's just like, you know, gaming industry is, everybody's trying to like capture that industry and have it around. And so the interesting part was you download the report and they've got this like document and you're like, this is kind of cool. And then you run across this giant wheel. It's a mandala graph chart. And so it's just explaining all the different types of work positions you have when you're trying to do a virtual production set. And it's just really makes you appreciate how why this is so complicated, and how we're merging all kinds of people from various different types of industries that never used to work together. We've got people who are working on sets and used to doing casting and interviewing, and then you got people like who know how to do Unreal Sequencer, digital storyboards, and screenshots from VR. And those people are working. So all the blue ones are the creative and non-data handling people, and then you got the technical data handling, and you got your technical artists who are the circled in green, which is really the focus of our real-time course is for technical artists, because that's where our space is most useful as an online school. Oh no, what have I done? Go back to wherever I was. Run into a 2-page thing here or something. All right. And it really highlights the fact that, like, one of the challenges I'm having as a person who's trying to you know, coordinate this department is I get people who are asking all kinds of questions of like, can I take this course and learn this? And then a lot of the times it's like, well, sort of, but it's kind of like specifically for it's camera work, it's environment work, and it's animation, technical animation setup. So those are the 3 main areas that we cover. We don't really get into some of the VFX, like the particle VFX and that kind of stuff on sets. That's a whole nother course type that we have, and it doesn't really, in terms of explaining it from a Unreal section, it's just too much information for one person to know. And a lot of these different types of elements here that we're looking at also highlight the fact that there's lots of different types of jobs with lots of different types of skill sets that all come together. In the video that they talked about, they really highlighted the fact that they just can't find people who know how to get into Unreal and modify things and prepare things for the set in a way that works for this live, to match a live set. And we were talking about, like earlier, with the lights, I mean, you can't just make up your own lights. You have to use the constraints of real world lighting, and so it has to match. And then the results, the final image results that you want and what you're telling these lights to do have to also line up so that your camera that's recording it is looking like what you wanted it to. So there's a whole complex calibration system for just lighting, and just be able to say, okay, Unreal, I want it to look like this, and then the lights look like that, and then in that environment it looks like this, and then the capturing camera looks like that. And you're like, what the heck just went wrong? Why does it not look like what I wanted it to? And so we're definitely going to address some of that lighting conflict in some of our videos, so that we can talk about it, especially since we have a mentor now who actually is on set at Pixamundo, dealing with this every day. But we also want to talk about cinematography, and we want to be able to cover some of the challenges you have with real life cameras, and how they coexist within a digital setup. And you know, your composition and your setups and your lighting and all that stuff has to work in tandem with real world cameras and real world environments. So, and the first term that we're talking about is technical animation. So we get into how to deal with metahumans, or not even metahumans, but how to deal with skeletons and bring characters in, and what happens if you have motion capture data, and what happens if you want to like convert data or deal with it or build something that works inside that environment. There's always challenges on that front that everybody always runs into when you're dealing with animation correlating. So lots of different skills here that have to all collaborate together. So you could just sit here for like an hour and just sort of like try to absorb all the different things that are going on here. But what is really fun and really cool about this is that they're all looking for people, and they're all desperately trying to find people. And they were even joking about how even to get people, and we're struggling with this too, to get people to come off of the set to teach people how to do what they're doing on set is a massive sacrifice, because there's so few people. They need them to be actually on set doing the work instead of offset teaching people how to do the work. And we're also struggling to find people that aren't extremely busy right now. So it's a great career path, very exciting, very cool, and it will change and adapt and move and shift as we go. But it's just one of those cutting edges where you can like get yourself in there and really become a master at something, because nobody else knows how to do it yet. And you just got to get in the door. And that's what our course is trying to do, is make sure that you have just enough skills that you can get in the door and get on set, and then you really sort of fly from there into whatever it is that needs being done the most. So that was my spiel about that one. We're only down to 20 minutes left before my stream's over, and actually I probably got to cut it a little bit short anyways, because I have to deal with another intake after this. So I do a color arts class. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump out of this, and we're going to try and do that last thing I wanted to do, which is a little more dry and boring, but whatever. We got our metahuman character that we have imported into Maya instead of bringing it into a game engine. And I managed to finally get that to work, which was a big relief, because it's been months since I've had my bridge software broken, because I had a license file in there that was not valid. And then let me just make sure that this actually works. And then yep, we're good. So I was never able to see the export settings so that I could change it to be able to export it to Maya instead of Unreal. So anyway, and I've been trying to do this for a while, because I found out that you can use Advanced Skeleton to rig a metahuman, or at least that's what I've been told. I've never actually been able to try it yet, till hopefully today. We're gonna have some luck where we actually have a animatable character rig on this. Instead of, all they give you now is just a facial rig setup, the facial system, and all the joints are in here. They're just hidden. Wow, they're really hidden. Like, they're not supposed to be that hidden, are they? Oh my goodness. Anyway, they are there. They're just totally invisible. Wait. Oh, no. Sorry. They're just not turned on. So yeah, you can see we have lots of facial joints because it's the high res. It gives you the high poly version of it, which is all the maximum number of joints. And you get lots more body joints than you normally would. But they're done in a sophisticated way so that the master joint, parent joint, is always a commonly named joint. And these are all just extra child joints that give you a little bit more control over the flexing of objects without having to do corrective blend shapes. They use joints to do the corrections of the positions, and it's very fancy and awesome. Although I don't know if a lot of that fanciness is happening inside of well, it must be happening inside of a Maya. I don't know. I can't even mess with it. They're all locked. No, they're all driven by something. Anyways, who cares? Before I start messing around with it, let me see if I can get this figured out here. I haven't actually. I gotta go chase down that video if I can't figure it out automatically, but I think there's an option down here metahuman. Now we have these other ones, which are very cool. You can set up exports for control rig exports. So if you're using anything else that's created with Advanced Skeleton, you can technically send it to a control rig inside of Unreal, which is a whole nother discussion we had talked about in other streams. And that was actually quite successful. They don't quite support IKFK yet, but may one day, very soon. IKFK switching, I should say. Does anything here say metahuman? I don't think so. All right. Well, I may have completely been wrong. I really thought there was a metahuman thing in here. The alternative is I have to use mgear, which I don't know if I have mgear in here or not, so I'd have to install it. All right, let's go see if I can find some videos, because I can't find it. Which I was hoping I could just see it. So I'm going to go over to the library channel for, I don't know if it's under the, might be under the Unreal 4 animation channel. Metahuman rig from Advanced Skeleton. Man, that was right there. That was so fast. Okay, so
in this video, we're going to take a closer look at metahuman.
I didn't have my music on,
really cool system,
but you got my audio from my desktop at least, so.
Looking human. If you do have an account with Unreal, you can.
Okay, we did this already. We're good. We're good. We got our character.
To functions for my configuration to have this. According to my, we jump over to my.
Yep, we got this.
We have our character on the side here. So advanced button to open the template section. Now we can see by default here it has detected that this is a meta.
Whoa, wwhoa, whoa, whoa, whoa! What was that awesome thing you just did? Name matcher.
There is a tool to do
tools.
Called the
name matcher.
Now there's a separate full video tutorial on this tool itself. I'll add a link to that in the description below.
Okay.
Now we'll open the
templates
section.
Oh my goodness!
Now we can see by
no wonder I didn't find it.
Detected that this is a metahuman and switched to the metahuman template. So all we gotta do is go into the function.
Create place fit. Alright, let's try it out. That wasn't too bad. So, oh, I shouldn't speak so soon here. I gotta still do it. Still gotta find this thing. Oh no, where is this thing? Tools. Here it is. Name matcher. Templates. Metahuman. Save current configuration. Functions. Create place fit skeleton. Wait, which one did he do? Fit skeleton or advanced playability? I think he probably did fit skeleton. Let's do it. Let's see what happens. Oh, okay, here we go. We got half the character set up. Actually, this is the way fit skeleton works. Let's just make sure my video makes sense before I move on here. Let me just jump back to the video. Seriously? That is super easy. And once you get that working, it's crazy. So build, oh no, I double clicked it. Oh, I hope that doesn't matter. Okay. Just realized I have this hot chocolate here. Great time to take a sip while I'm waiting for the build joints to happen. Alright, and then we got constraints Constrained to joints. Okay, so currently they're not constrained to joints. I do appreciate how Advanced Skeleton, I think it's just a single developer, or I don't think it's like a big team or anything. And they're very much into matching with what Unreal's up to. They're on the ball, which is very cool. Because this stuff just came out very recently, because MetaHuman just came out really recently. It's been it's less than a year, and it's still in beta. It hasn't actually been fully released yet. So meanwhile, Advanced Skeleton's on it. They got themselves a rig that you can use. And I guess in theory, because you have a Advanced Skeleton rig, you could make a control rig for it if you had a version of it in the Unreal, but you don't need to because MetaHuman already comes with a control rig, so it's probably a lot more sophisticated. It's pretty good though, this is working. Let me see if, let's see what kind of magic is happening with these corrective bones here. We have, yeah, it is, it's working. Notice how when we move these leg joints, the joints it's very hard to quite confirm it yet. I'm sort of like, I think this is working. What is all this other stuff here? We've got a joint connected to a joint. Seems like it. Anyways, the corrective joints are moving at different speeds than the main leg joint. So you can see as I move the leg joint up, they're not moving as fast, which means that they're maintaining a position that allows that skin not to collapse and builds up that volume that needs to be there, which is complicated, hard to do, and it's all inside of the logic is happening inside of Maya as well. That's kind of cool. That isn't something that Advanced Skeleton did, I don't think. I think it's pretty sure that's just part of the skeleton that came along. The Advanced Skeleton is just manipulating the master joints, and then the rest of it is just doing its logic. And the nice thing is when you export this as a skeleton, those joints will be baked by their position in world space, and so all that corrective stuff that's happening here is going to it's going to come through. Yeah, you can really see that elbow joint just sort of pop out there to kind of hold that volume of where that elbow is. And I remember there was another thing with the textures. They don't work with this character because you need to use a special display type, and it was a DirectX display type. Forget how to do it now. Display, here it is. DirectX 11. Save. I'm gonna save this as. I didn't really do like a workflow where the skeleton's on a different reference than the rig. That's usually some of the things they talk about with Advanced Skeleton, is they try to get you into a proper workflow where you reference in your skeleton so that it's not on the same file as your control rig, so that you can screw up your control rig and your skeleton remains unharmed. I'm trying to find this one. Isn't that complicated? K drive, asset library, MetaHuman. No, Mega scan. Oh my gosh, I thought I had a metahuman thing in here. Oh well, make a new folder. Maybe I was putting in a temporary. Alright, anyways, I'm just gonna save it. What I have to do is to restart my Maya so that I can see these textures show up, prove that changing it gonna work. And then at that point, I think we're pretty much good for today because I have to get to a Q&A. I gotta shut down a little early, but it would be cool to see the textures, make sure that the rig works. The exporting process shouldn't be too crazy. It's just like working with any other skeleton. You're just exporting the skeleton and importing it into Unreal, and then you'd have it. The other question would be, can you import motion capture onto that, retarget motion capture onto that advanced skeleton rig? And with HIK, you can take any kind of control. You can use custom rig mapping to be able to assign and retarget to another rig. It has worked for me before, but I don't know if I've tried it with Advanced Skeleton or not. I can't remember. It might be an approach, but Advanced Skeleton itself has internal stuff as well for motion capture. Oh, look at this. Well, that is awesome. If that works, then that's all you have to do. That only makes total sense. Why would, of course they would make something like that. That's brilliant. I never knew that it was there before. Let's try it. Because once you have an HIK characterization of it, you're kind of in a great spot for handling motion capture. I mean, then you can bring it over to Motion Builder and just apply massive amounts of professional mocap from like Rococo or Vicon or something. It would be a pretty good position to be in. Now, still want to have that. I mean, if you're going to do that, you might as well just brought MetaHuman straight into Motion Builder. Which, I don't know. I'm not sure how that would work. It doesn't have, there's no like, I don't think there's a export to Motion Builder option within Bridge. So, that wouldn't necessarily be something you could just easily do. I think you do have to take it through this step of bringing it into Maya, have it all set up, and then exporting it, the skeleton, over to Motion Builder, and then setting up your characterization for your character so that you can put a control rig on there so that you can clean up mocap. But if you can do it through here where it automatically already knows where your joints are and the names of them. Hey, look, our textures are working. Well, they were working. Turn that off. They're actually not working. They were working for a minute. I swear. I don't think we have any lights or anything. Whoa, I don't even have that ability here. Anyways, that's not even what I came for. So yeah, we got shoes lit up. We don't have anything else. Anyways, doesn't matter. Let's just do this other thing. It's way cooler. Delete motion system, create human IK. I feel like the skeleton should be back to its default, but whatever, let's just do it. Motion system exists. This must be deleted first. Oh, okay. All right, delete motion system. Oh, look at that. It got rid of the whole joint system. Well, that doesn't seem good. Let me go jump onto this. Let's reset the pose. Delete the motion system. Create a human IK. Look at that. It worked. Or it's working. Except if I don't see the control rig. Where is it? What are we missing here? Oh, we have a problem. They didn't T-pose it. I'm surprised there's no like option for T-posing. So anytime you want to characterize a skeleton for HIK, it has to be in a T-pose, and sometimes there's these ways to do automatic T-posing. I'm kind of disappointed that they didn't do that, and now I'm looking at this going, oh no, I can't just grab the right joint very easily, so that's a bummer. Wait, no, that's not working. Alright, so it requires more thinking, but if you were able to get it to be a characterized character, then you could, in theory, just switch this to none, bring in an animation example of somebody who's moving, and we're gonna see what happens here. Let me just switch this so that it runs this character. But because we are not... Actually, I don't quite understand why the character is bent over. I was gonna talk about how the arms are gonna be retargeted properly, but I don't know what this is all about. Something else is going on. So yeah. Anyways, I better wrap it up. I got another class coming up. Thanks for everybody who is still here, if anybody's still here. We're having some fun playing around with some stuff, and we're gonna try and come back to talking about more virtual production next week. I'm pretty confident because there's a few things that I never got to talk about. There's a whole nother Unreal scene that I want to go take a look at, and we were having so much fun this week about it. I feel like we could probably explore some more and see what else we could learn about. And I will leave it there, but I will see you guys again next week. All right, take care, everybody.